The primary task of the operations function at any business is to develop and operate a system that delivers the required products or services at the required time and within a specified cost budget. In retail, the operations function is also responsible for delivering sales. There is no separate sales function in retail, and so the operations function is actually a sales and operations function. We are going to cover the sales management part in a separate course, and in this course, we will mainly focus on everything that goes into operating a retail store. So let's get started. A retail business delivers the service of bringing a product assortment closer to customers so they can choose and buy from it conveniently. Retail operations is responsible for operating the retail stores that deliver this service to the end consumer. The role of the retail store is very critical in retail because it's the customer-facing entity in the business that delivers the main service. And the main challenge in operating this entity is to ensure that all stores deliver the same quality of service according to the same brand standards. This is done through formulating standard operating procedures, or SOPs, which is a document that details the procedures that should be followed at all stores. Those procedures ensure that the day-to-day store operations are consistent over time, so tomorrow's activities are the same as today and the same as next week and so on, and to ensure that they are consistent across all stores, so the activities followed at this store are the same as the other store and so on. When these SOPs are detailed and clear enough, they help eliminate poor service by providing a clear guideline to employees on what to do on a day-to-day. However, simply formulating a clear SOP does not ensure good performance at all stores. Two other things are still needed, and these are training all employees on operating as per the SOP and the management of those employees to ensure they understand and operate based on the standards. So the role of the managers at different levels in the operations function, whether the store managers, district managers, or assistant store managers, is to ensure that the store teams are delivering the service according to the company's standards and guidelines, day in and day out. And to measure whether the management are being successful at doing this, different KPIs are set for the stores to assess performance in those areas. There are three main areas of responsibility in the operations function at each store. These are brand, and this represents everything the customer sees and includes visual standards, the selling behavior of the team on the shop floor, and the overall customer experience at the store. Capability, and this represents everything that goes behind the scenes. Those are the things that the customer doesn't see but are still key to delivering the service to the customer. This includes merchandise flow and workforce management, as well as any admin work that's required from the store, such as banking and cash management. Talent, and this deals with the store team itself, from recruitment and hiring to coaching and development and education. Those three areas and what falls under them are then divided among the store teams to assign responsibilities and to ensure accountability for the assigned area. For example, a store that has a store manager and two assistant store managers could divide the AORs in a way where the store manager will be responsible for talent and the ASMs are responsible for brand and capability. And each ASM will have a team under the area of responsibility assigned the daily tasks for those areas. For example, the brand team could have visual merchandisers and sales associates, and the capability team could have cashiers, admins, and stockroom controllers, as well as other sales associates who also help in merchandise flow management. The store manager is mainly responsible for the talent at all times, while also managing the other areas through the ASMs. We are going to get into details of the store manager role later on. Now we are going to cover each area of responsibility separately to understand how it operates and also how its performance is measured. Managing the brand is managing the customer experience from the time the customer enters the store to the time they exit. This starts with ensuring the visuals of the store are as per the brand guidelines, including the store cleanliness from outside and inside, including the windows, the visual display of the products on the shop floor, the store lighting, and the organization of the different areas of the shop floor, such as the cash desk and fitting rooms. While every brand has specific broad visual guidelines to make sure all stores are consistent with the brand, stores come in different shapes and sizes, and so every store will have a unique store layout and a floor plan that fits this layout. So different products could differ in where they are displayed at each store, but the visual display will still have to be according to the broad visual guidelines from the brand. Such guidelines usually give different options for display so that it can cater for the different spaces available at each store. There should also be guidelines on what to do when products start to sell out of the shelves or tables and the display starts to look empty. For example, a set of bottles that have just arrived could be stacked after each other. When they start selling out of the shelves, in order for the shelf not to look empty, there could be a standard for displaying the bottles as facing at the front of the shelf and the back will be empty. All this is formulated within the visual guidelines of the brand and communicated to the store team. And it is the responsibility of the brand team to keep the store as per those visual guidelines at all times, by assigning different members of the team for different areas of the store to ensure the display is proper on a daily basis. The brand team is also responsible for the ordering and maintenance of the non-merch items that are used for display at the store. These could include fixtures, props, lighting equipment, posters, and other marketing materials. The second part of managing the brand deals with the customer experience at the store and the selling behavior of the team. Each brand has a certain way and a guideline on how to serve customers. Not all retail businesses are the same. For example, some value retailers or grocery stores could provide very limited customer assistance, and usually only if the customer asks for something. On the other hand, other brands could have a detailed process for assisting customers and providing full service that extends outside the store by keeping in touch with customers and building a relationship. Such is the case in clienteling at luxury retailers. The customer experience goes through three main phases at the store. Entry. This is when the customer arrives at the store and enters from the gate. Many brands will have a requirement to place a greeter at the front of the store or have the closest store team member to the door greet the customer and acknowledge their presence. The next stage is browsing and shopping. This is where the customer goes through the store and shops for what she wants. This is also where the actual customer service and sales process happens by assisting the customer in locating and finding what she wants and applying the different sales techniques to increase the transaction value and close the sale. We are going to cover this in more details in the sales management course. The final stage is the checkout stage. This is the cash wrap experience and farewell for the customer. The main focus here is to facilitate a fast checkout by ensuring the cash desks are appropriately staffed and having a guideline for how many customers should be in the line before opening an additional cash desk to move the lines faster. A very important aspect of managing the customer experience is dealing with customer complaints and applying proper problem-solving techniques. Problems arise on the shop floor for many reasons, including a problem with the product itself, a problem with the return and exchange process, and this is the most common one, a problem with one of the team members and their behavior with the customer. Here again, dealing with the problem will be guided by the SOP of the business, especially when it comes to returns and exchange, but also a certain degree of flexibility is sometimes needed to keep customers happy. A key for that is to have a certain guideline for certain authority given to the floor manager or store manager to solve the problem on the spot with some degree of flexibility depending on the situation. Such empowerment could solve many problems and avoid losing a lot of customers. There should also be a process for escalation if needed, with key contacts provided to the store team depending on the area of the problem. The brand area of responsibility is assessed through mystery shopping visits and customer survey scores, such as NPS. In a mystery shopping visit, the business contracts a mystery shopping service that sends someone to the store acting like a customer and recording the visit. This person goes through a provided checklist that covers all the required actions and standards according to the brand guidelines, and the store receives a point for each question or checkpoint. There are 4 main areas assessed by mystery shoppers: cleanliness and first impression. This includes the store signage, lights, cleanliness of the shop floor and fitting rooms, marketing materials and display, product display, staff appearance, and grooming. Service quality at the store. This includes greeting at the entrance, proactive service, body language of the staff, courtesy, and availability of assistance when needed. Selling skills and product knowledge of the store team. This includes active listening from the salesperson, product knowledge and expertise, suggestive selling and upselling, and closing the sale. And finally, the cash experience. And this includes queuing time, competency of the cashier, product packaging, and proper farewell for the customer. Every area gets a specific weight and points assigned to each checkpoint. Example of assessment checkpoints could be whether or not the store entrance and window was clean, whether or not someone was there to greet the customer when she arrived, whether or not someone has assisted the customer on the shop floor, whether or not the salesperson applied the proper sales techniques, whether or not the salesperson had the proper product knowledge, how the experience on the cash wrap was, and whether there were no more than 3 customers in the line, and so on. Every brand will tailor the questions on the checklist based on their own guidelines. The store usually gets mystery shopping visits multiple times in a year, and an average score of all the visits is taken. NPS score and customer surveys are also sent out to customers or filled at the store and provide a final average score for the store. Both scores, the NPS and the mystery shopping, are used for performance measurement. Performance is also measured and corrected through daily floor walks by the store manager and regular store visits by the district manager or regional managers.